Donald Trump appeared to admit over the weekend that he does, in fact, know that he is being manipulated and lied to by conservative media. He is, of course, cognizant enough to realize he is being manipulated and lied to by conservative media. However, he's not smart enough to not go along with it. Okay, so it's a weird kind of dynamic here. He knows they're telling him lies, but he's still like, all right, well, I'll go based on the lies. But all of this, of course, is with regards to his decision over the weekend to federalize 200 National Guard troops and send them into Portland, Oregon, because according to Donald Trump, Portland is on fire. And I don't mean metaphorically. I mean literally, Portland is burning to the ground as violent insurrection takes place with the Portland residents against ICE agents. That's what Trump thinks. But he admitted to the governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek, or Kotek, excuse me, that he's being lied to by the media. Here's what happened. Donald Trump on Sunday gave an interview to an NBC White House correspondent, or at least gave a statement. And he said this in his statement about sending the National Guard into there. I spoke to the governor. She was very nice. But I said, well, wait a minute. Am I watching things on television that are different from what's happening? My people tell me different. They're literally attacking and there are fires all over the place. It looks terrible. The only problem is that that's not happening. That's literally not a thing. There are not fires all over Portland. You do not have crowds of angry citizens setting fires to buildings. That's not happening. And so Trump, again, let me read you. Well, wait a minute. Am I watching things on television that are different from what's happening? My people tell me different. You are. You are, in fact, watching things on television that are different from reality. Just like during the George Floyd protests of 2020, when Republicans repeatedly, still to this day, by the way, tell us that American cities were burned to the ground. Those are their exact words, burned to the ground. Trump used those words. And for the record, one of those cities was Portland, Oregon. Burned to the ground. Nothing left. Nothing. There wasn't a city anymore. It was burned to the ground. And that, of course, never happened. Because conservative media lies about this crap. Have people been arrested in Portland during protest? Absolutely. Have most of the charges against all of those people been dropped? Yep. Yeah, that's the other part of the story that conservatives never love to tell you. They'll tell you when people get arrested, like, oh, look, it was so bad. They arrested 20 people today. And then you go back and you're like, yeah, but 19 of them had the charges dismissed. And the other one was a misdemeanor of being on property they weren't allowed to be on. Okay, not exactly violent criminals setting fire to things and beating people with baseball bats, but that is what conservative media portrays. And we did see it. We've seen it this year. These networks and these posts, go all over social media. Some go viral. Unfortunately, some do not, showing people the truth. Conservatives, Fox News in particular, is really bad about this. They'll try to say that, oh, look at this city is under siege, but they will show a video that's not only years old, but it's years old of another city in America, not even the one they're talking about. But their viewers don't know, right? Their viewers aren't in Portland. They've never been to Portland. So when they see a building on fire, they're like, oh, well, I guess obviously that's Portland. But no, Fox News, other conservative outlets trick you by just picking a footage of a building that they have on fire. It could be in, Wetumpka, Alabama. Viewers of Fox don't know the difference unless they live in Wetumpka. And trust me, there's a lot of Fox News viewers there, but they still wouldn't question it. They'd be like, well, that was Wetumpka lumber. No, it's Portland, according to Fox. So yes, Trump admitting like, am I seeing things that aren't happening? Yes, you are. And your people are lying to you. Portland is not on fire. Portland doesn't have roving games of federally beating citizens. It ain't happening. But conservative media is feeding him the lie. His staffers are reinforcing it But apparently there's still a part of his little bitty brain that's not buying into it. He's still acting on it. But it's clear that he knows he's acting on false information. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is flooded with spam, this is how they do it. Companies called data brokers sell your data to anyone willing to pay for it. They do it without your consent, and they make billions selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And while they're legally required to remove your info if you ask, they make the process confusing and hard on purpose. That's why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family and friends. They take care of the hard part by automatically removing your info from these sites and keeping it off. Aura is all-in-one digital security. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door open. You get alerts if your personal info is found on the dark web. They provide real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking. They have 24/7 monitoring to help keep your identity secure. They provide a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and so much more. And they have US-based support available around the clock if anything goes wrong. If anything does end up happening, Aura includes $5 million in identity theft insurance protection. And they have US fraud experts ready to help you 24/7. It's one app that provides every layer of protection. I don't want to leave myself vulnerable online, and you shouldn't either, and that's why I personally use Aura. Your personal data is collected by almost every single website you go to. Every shopping site you enter your information, it becomes the property of that company that then hands it to the brokers that then hand it to anyone. So protect yourself with Aura. Try it for yourself. You can go to aura.com/Farron to try 14 days for free. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal info off these data broker sites without you lifting a finger.